This is my absolute game of the year. It is the Indiana Jones game in 2024 that we didn't think we needed. It is a Christmas treat. It is an absolute delight throughout and a joy to play. And it is just in time for Christmas. A perfect Christmas present to play through the holidays. Let's get into it. The recent movies weren't great, but this game brings it back. It's an Indiana Jones game that's essentially saved the beloved franchise with how amazing this game actually is. Machine Games and Bethesda have absolutely killed it with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, with its movie feel to every element of the game. The voice acting, gameplay, the music, and these big, open, explorable areas within levels to collect leaflets, treasures, and trinkets. Notes and leaflets to opening safes and boxes, taking photos for hints and puzzles, marking key points of interest, to discovering new side activities within these big open levels that has you freely exploring, that gives you the freedom to find multiple ways of completing objectives. And these big open areas are huge. It may take you days to get through it all. As more and more unravels, you pick something up and another quest becomes available with you collecting everything in those levels, exploring every single inch, and the collector in you will want to make sure you do everything within those levels. With mysteries, standalone objectives, and fieldwork that sometimes ties into the main objective, and upon completion you will be rewarded with collectibles and skill books for upgrades to Indy's new abilities that can be learned by reading books that you often unlock just by exploring. But there'll also be these smaller linear parts as well, mixed in with the larger open explorable levels, which these sections are more action oriented and serve as a way of progressing the story along, that has those typical intense action set pieces. It feels like an indie movie. It plays like a movie. It's beautiful in every aspect. I spent almost an entire day in this one level, exploring Vatican City to the fullest before I went to Egypt, and oh man, it is breathtakingly beautiful. Gorgeous, in fact. This game graphically is 10 out of 10. The music, the voice acting, the setting, the atmosphere, as just everything unfolds around you as you venture on, trying to complete all the tasks in Indy's journal. You'll also be doing a lot of tomb raiding in this game as well. This is so much more than an action-adventure. It's a stealth game where you'll be wearing disguises, sneaking in to enemy territory without trying to blow your cover, taking down enemies quietly from behind without getting noticed, stealing items, treasures and trinkets while also not getting alerted with moments of action that suddenly just happens but ends quickly, because Indy isn't about the action, it's about the adventure, it's about the exploration and puzzle solving. The puzzle solving in this game isn't too complex, but offers hints if needed by taking a second photo with your camera. Now the stealth here, which is the main purpose of the game, you would expect that to be good, but the stealth could be better. The AI pretty much sucks. If they spot you, they give you a generous amount of time before actually deciding, wait, are you one of us? Are you the enemy? Should we attack you? Even when fighting with the AI, at times they block, and they will keep that block for ages before actually going in for a swing that gives you a stupid amount of time to counter block their attacks because you often know it's coming well in advance. Very generous of them. Just a minor gripe with the stealth, but for the most part I can overlook this because in the grand scheme of things with this game, everything else, perfect. And yes, you will feel like you are actually in the shoes of Indiana Jones. There is elements of platforming here as well, and for the most part, it's okay. It does the job. As far as first-person platforming goes, it's alright. Now this does transition from first person and third person in moments when you're climbing or using your whip. It'll transition to third person for those moments. But I think the transition between those moments, some people have said it's janky, and for a second, yes, it does take you out of the experience a little bit, but I quite like it. It's given us that third person Indiana Jones style, but also keeping it first person at the same time, looking through Indy's eyes as the player, but keeping that old school style third person aspect where we can actually see Indiana Jones as we play in elements as well, and I do quite like that. This game really does immerse you into his world, into Indy's shoes, into Indy's story, into the movies. So just the sound of Indy's whip echoing as you use it, the satisfaction of effortlessly just whipping out the whip to swing on something to get from A to B, or just to use it to climb up or down to get to a certain point. You feel like a superhero, and it's just so satisfying utilizing the whip in those jaw-dropping, oh my god moments. I am Indiana Jones. To using Indy's satchel as you use your inventory of items or map, which comes up in-game, real time. You'll bring it out and look at it. Not just a pause menu. You actually bring out the map to look at where you need to go. And unlocking doors or just opening things requires you to actually do that with an action and a tilt of the analog stick. It's not just a small cutscene, it's all real time. It's all in-game. The combat feels heavy and weighted. When you strike an enemy with Indy's fist, there is power behind those punches. It is violent and brutal, with quick jabs and a powerful, knockout, thunderous punch at the end. And when you're using your gun, to be fair, using guns with Indiana Jones isn't his strong point anyway, so for the most part you'll probably find yourself never lifting up a gun or using one. And often it's completely up to you how you approach enemies and how you want to handle them with whatever means necessary, giving you the complete freedom of how you want to approach these situations. And speaking of objects, everything can pretty much be picked up and used as a weapon to make quick work of an enemy. Some heavier weapons break almost immediately after one or two uses, but man, are they satisfying to use. The power behind some of those weapons as you smash it across a Nazi's head. You can also use Indy's whip to pull an enemy towards you or to dispose of an enemy's weapon, for you to then throw a few punches, pick up that said weapon to finish off the enemy with blocking and dodging elements as well. That does take a little bit to get used to at first. This game is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, and it's been done just so amazingly well, right from that absolutely perfect scene by scene prologue, nailing every single aspect of the opening scene to Raiders of the Lost Ark, with new and familiar characters along the way as well. It's all just captured beautifully with everything this game has to offer. With Troy Baker as well, voicing Indiana Jones so beautifully. He has done an absolute 10 out of 10 job when it comes to the voice capturing, and sometimes I forget that it isn't Harrison Ford at all. He has done that good of a job with this one. With all of Indy's charm, humour, excitement, passion for treasure hunting and everything that comes with it. The main villain, ruthless. He sounds sinister and menacing, and also Tony Todd. Need I say more? Everything in this world just looks amazingly detailed and authentic, with nostalgic trips down memory lane as well, with just jaw-dropping set pieces and level design. And this game remarkably fits in between those two movies, and this may even be one of the best Indiana Jones movies out there, because that's exactly what this feels like. That is exactly what this is when you are playing it. And that is that. That is Indiana Jones and the phenomenal, great Circle. And if you guys have been wondering where I have been as of late, why I haven't been uploading here on this channel, is that because I am trying to build a new channel with the focus of tech, Apple ecosystem, and the Apple products surrounding it, kind of like a day in the lifestyle. I'm going to talk about fitness, motivation, how to be productive as possible within the Apple ecosystem and its devices. So if that's something you're into, please check it out. It'll be linked here in the description and somewhere on screen in this video. And I would just like to say a very Merry Christmas to every single one of you out there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you for making me a part of your day and checking out my videos. Thank you. I haven't said that in a while. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time.